So hi guys. This video is regarding CA Final Advanced Auditing. How to plan your preparation during 1.5 day time available. We all know that this being mostly acknowledged as a theory paper, and moreover a paper that students generally don't understand, which on many instances I proved it is wrong. But anyhow, irrespective of that. So how and what chapters within that 1.5 day must and should that we must cover? What chapters we must cover at any cost? Fine. So first let me talk about what chapters that you need not cover. I will call them as category 2 chapters. Which chapters that you can keep at hold, or you can keep it as a last priority. Then I will talk about first priority chapters. Remember, whenever you're reading a subject, there is an order in which you need to read that particular subject. Whether you're doing 5th revision or 6th revision doesn't matter. But if you do a particular chapter reading in a particular process, the way you remember, the way you retain the content is completely different. Like suppose if I do not remember physical loss, straight away start with physical loss. No, that's not the correct thing. There is a structure in which you need to learn the entire subject. For the sake of convenience, we divide it into multiple chapters, but actually we are learning one single subject. One major, very big concept we are learning. Within that, the major big concepts were subdivided into multiple sub-concepts. So which means there is an order in which you need to revise. There is an order in which you need to learn. So that we are going to discuss now. So category 2 chapters, what are they? Internal management operational audit. Sir, what do you mean by category 2? What does it mean? Category 2 means, that doesn't mean that there will not be any marks. No, there may be possibility of marks. See, you're having at the end of the day, you're having 130 marks, and out of which 30 marks is for MCQs and 90 marks is for the descriptive paper, and within that 90 you need to attempt for 70, and 20 marks you're having choice. And I am talking about especially this 20 marks choice. Maybe whatever I am keeping under category 2, from them also MCQs might come. But remember, the reason why we revise 1.5 day before exam, that is not for the sake of MCQ. You need to understand that fact first. We are revising to give a descriptive answer. The reason why we revise is, see, MCQ is based on your understanding. It's not based on your retention power. First understand this fact. You can answer MCQs if you understand well the subject, whether you retain it or not. By reading a particular sentence, if you are able to figure out is it right or is it wrong, that skill set is enough for MCQ. Which means the reason why you have to revise the subject again and again is to present descriptive paper. First fact you need to understand. So I'm only talking from point of view of descriptive paper. So IMO audit, then, and due diligence, investigation, and forensic audit, Then even there is a chapter called audit strategy. In your institute book, it is some study material order, it is some second or third chapter, audit strategy. Then we even have a chapter which you can keep it under last priority, fiscal loss. You can keep it under last priority. You can keep it as a last priority, fiscal loss. Even for some students, I even suggest to keep it as insurance audit as a last priority chapter for some student. If at all you already gone through insurance audit well, you understood it thoroughly well, you had a very good command on the chapter. Command means you didn't remember. No, not that. I'm not talking about remembrance. I'm talking about analyzing the subject. I'm talking about how better you understood the subject. If at all you did not understand much in depth about insurance audit, keep it under last priority. Remember, your memory will not help always. You may think sometimes we are in assumption that I am not able to recollect what I read. That is not which is important. See, even today I'm an audit faculty, right? If you ask me to read out the entire subject without looking at the book, I will also feel difficult. But you ask me a particular question, for a moment I'll take thinking and then I'll reply you at least 5 points on the topic. Relevant points which are covered in the material. But if you want me to explain the whole book without looking at it, each and every point, it's obviously difficult for me. For me also, I am unable to recollect what is there in the subject. But if you ask me a question, I'll answer. Which means my understanding, my analysis on that subject is what most important to me. And that's what you need to do even in the revision. So these are category 2. Sir, then what do you mean by category 1 chapters? Rest of the chapters? If so, if rest of the chapters are category 1, what is the order in which we need to read, and when we need to read that? Like we come from SFM exam, maybe some of you might have SFM exemption if you're a repeater. If you're having SFM exemption, you'll be having 3-4 days gap, which is absolutely great. You're having so much time, and you can revise happily without any difficulty. So category 1, what are category 1 chapters? Just a minute. Yes, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, so what chapters that fall under category 1 and what is the order? See, as per my book, my material, I'm just telling you. First, there is a thing called fundamentals. Especially whoever is my student, please start reading with fundamentals. Very important for MCQs. Then, of course, as usual, company audit. Then audit report, which covers CARO 2020. Yes, you need to finish this. I'll tell you the time at which you need to read them. I'll tell you how to plan that hours. See, typically speaking, once you finish SFM exam and come, I'm generally talking about larger audience. 99% of the students may not be having SFM exemption, or most of them might be first time writers. So you are having, after writing SFM examination and coming back, you are having hardly on that particular day, I will take only 2 to 3 hours time. Maybe you may say, sir, exam will over by 5 o'clock. I'll reach home by 6 o'clock. Immediately I can start studying. Up to 12 o'clock, I'll study. 6 hours I have time. No, never do that. It's what is important is productivity, which is important. It's not number of hours that you're sitting. It's productivity, which is important. Productive reading is what important. During this 1.5 day, productive reading will help you to better, for better recollection of the subject in the exams. So 2 to 3 hours only I'll consider. And in fact, I suggest you to take rest. After coming from the previous examination, I suggest you sincerely to take some amount of rest. At least 1.5 to 2 hours, try to lay on the bed. Like at least, if possible, sleep for 1.5 hour. If not, at least relax. Don't stress up your brain immediately. So on that date, I assume that you maximum study 3 hours. Assuming you're studying up to 12:30 or 1 o'clock midnight. Then you go for sleep and get up in the morning some 7:30 or 8. Have proper sleep. During exam days, even otherwise exam days also, I always prefer to have a proper sleep. That is most important for proper functioning of the body. Maybe for some students, you might be habituated to have a sleep schedule of 5-6 hours only in a day. If at all your body adapted to it, that's fine. But for others who regularly sleep for 7 to 8 hours, during exam period, if you try to reduce it, it may harm your functionality. It may harm your efficiency. So kindly don't risk. Whatever your regular sleep structure is there, try to maintain that same structure. Preferably, I suggest you to sleep for 7 to 8 hours for more efficient functioning of your brain. Next, so audit report, that is third important chapter. Then you need to talk about ethics. Then you need to prepare ethics. And I'm telling you, company audit, you hardly take 1 hour time, not more than 1 hour. Audit report, which will have these standards: 700, 701, 705, 706, 710, 720, 600, 610, 620, 570, 260. These are the standards which are there as per my book with respect to audit report chapter. And even, sorry, 299. Totally 12 standards which I cover as part of audit report. So these standards are first priority standards. Like many students ask me, sir, which are the important standards? These are the most important standards. These 12 standards are most important. I'll tell you what next category standards also. I'll tell you about that. Wait for it. This order you try to remember. You try to note down this category 1 order. First, what you need to do. Then I will discuss about corporate governance. Corporate governance. In that governance, especially most important topic is resignation of auditor. Most important topic is resignation of auditor. for listed companies as per LODR regulations. That topic is important. And certificate of auditor on corporate governance compliance. That topic is also important. Then, then peer review, then peer review and even quality review as well. Peer review and quality review. Then after, preferably NBFC audit, preferably NBFC audit. Then you read bank audit. Then you go through PSU audit. Then you go through PSU audit. These are the most important chapters that you must revise at any cost. Within that 1.5 day, you must revise. And let me share the timelines also. How much time each topic will generally take. If at all you already finished coaching properly and you revised the subject later on after coaching, once you prepared the entire subject, or you watched some marathon class already. See, if possible, my marathon class is already there on the YouTube. Okay, for few chapters it is already there as 2 parts. So you can watch that marathon. Even Caro 2020 amendments, all that also there is a video in my channel playlist. If you go, you will find CA final marathon. Inside the 3 videos you will find. You can watch them wherever it is useful. First start with amendments video. Then you go and watch marathon during the one day before that. This also you can do. If at all you feel reading on your own is difficult, you can go with this if needed. Okay. Now anyhow, so these chapters. Sir, then what are the chapters? What are the chapters that you are neutral at? I am neutral about. By the way, before I go even further, let me give some timelines. So audit report, these 12 standards and Caro altogether will take approximately 3 hours of time. If you properly read. See, revision means audit report 700 what points it says. No, not that. Read calmly, read with patience. Have some patience. Don't be hurry-burry. Even if you cover 60% of the syllabus only before the exam, that 60% if you revise properly, you can recollect very well in the examination. Remember, even if you write 75 marks of the paper with utmost accuracy, you can get exemption. Even if you write 100 marks hurry-burryly, something you scribbled and came, 25 marks is also very difficult. Believe in this. Believe in perfectionism. Next. So ethics, it will take some 2 hours of time for a proper revision. Maybe conservatively I can say 3 hours. 3 hours. And governance will take 2 hours of time. And peer review and quality review put together will take some maximum 3 hours. NBFC audit is a 1 hour topic. Bank audit is also, bank audit and PSU audit put together 3 hours. So I mean, for productive revision, this is the time it will take. So how much time? Fundamentals company audit together 1 plus 3 4, 4 plus 3 7, 7 plus 2 9, 9 plus 3 12, 12 plus 3 15 and plus 1 16 hours. Main category chapters will take 16 hours for productive revision. Understand? I'm talking about revision in such a way that you are deeply reading that subject once again, that particular chapter once again. If you cover these chapter minimum, these chapters whatever I told right now, minimum, if you cover them, definitely you'll have more scope. Like anyhow, how to split 3 hours after coming from SFM examination, 3 hours you are having time. Next day plan your schedule for 12 hours. Next day you plan your schedule for 12 hours, total 15. Then you are having that next day. On the day on which you are having examination, on the day you try to devote 3 hours of time for reading. Within this 3 hours, any other chapter that you want to read, like the insurance audit or physical loss or the second category, or 2 chapters I didn't cover here, that is risk assessment chapter and automated environment chapter and standards. Okay, so like what chapters still I did not cover? What chapters that I did not cover? Balance standards. Balance standards. What are balance standards? Okay, by the way, from my point of view, these standards need not be required at all. These standards is not at all required for a CA final student. They are only relevant at CA inter. They are only relevant at CA inter. So these standards, especially these standards 200, 210, 230, 240, 500, 520, 530. These standards you can outrightly ignore. I am challenging, you can outrightly ignore these standards. You will not find a descriptive question at all. Why, sir? How are you so confident? these standards related content is not given in the ICI study material of CA final. It is only there in the pronouncement book, not in the CA final. You open audit strategy chapter in ICS study material once. In ICS study audit strategy chapter, go at last. There is a one box. In that box, these standards are listed out and they're asking you to refer to CA intermaterial. So that's enough. That proof is enough. These are not at all important chapters. So what are the balance chapters that I left? Already 12 standards covered as part of audit report, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 standards covered here. Total 19 I already spoke about. We totally have 36 standards including quality control. Still 17 standards were left. Within these 17, must and should what standards you need to read. These are the standards. Wait, don't worry. I'll sum up once again. These standards you need to compulsorily read once. 540. Give a single reading properly. High chances that a question may come from this. Then 501, 505, 510, 550, 580 and even SQC 220. These are the next level important standards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more standards. I already spoke about 12 standards in audit report and here a totally 20 standards. 20 standards including one SQC. These are the primary important standards. Primarily important standards. If you still have time after finishing all this, then come to 610. Then come to 610. I think 610. Did I cover here? Yeah, I think I covered here. So if at all you cover all this, I think there it's enough. Sir, what about 315 standard? What about 330 standard? What about 402 standard? 402 also you keep as a last priority standard. With respect to 402, many will have a confusion. In my application, we have an application called Sreshta for CA. You can see the logo here. Sreshta for CA CMA. You can download the application in Play Store. Open main menu. In that study material, in that CA final, in that smart notes folder is there. Inside handwritten notes is there. In that standards is there. Notes, handwritten notes. In that standard handwritten notes, last 5-7 pages or 402 notes. Very easy to understand. If you read that, that's enough. Getting it? So 315, 330, what about them, sir? That is what we call it as risk assessment and internal control chapter, automated environment. All this is, they're talking about which chapter? Nothing but 315, 330. Sir, what about SA 300? Audit strategy chapter is nothing but SA 300. That is category 2 chapters. Sir, can you sum up as a whole once? These are the chapters that you should not read at first. IMO audit, due diligence, investigation, forensic audit, strategy, fiscal loss, insurance audit. Don't read at first. Give them as last priority. Suppose you are my smart course student. You can go through all these chapters, no problem, because you selectively chosen these chapters. You selectively chosen smart course, so you can happily go with these chapters. For a normal full course students or even normal outside student who have not taken classes with me. So you follow this strategy. I'm telling you, this is very, very safe strategy. It's not how hurry-burriedly you revise, how far you covered the syllabus. Hey, I covered 90%. No, that is not required. Cover 70% only, but productively you cover. That will give you major weightage. That will give you a good recollection factor. Getting it? So fundamentals, company audit, audit report, ethics, governance, then peer review and quality review, then NBFC audit, bank audit, then PSU audit, then after, if you still have time, come to these standards. Read these standards: 540, 501, 505, 510, 550, 580, SQC 220 and 402. You finished all of these also. If you still have time, then you can come and read insurance audit at first, then physical loss, then these standards, these chapters. I hope I summed up as a whole. I even spoke about how much time it will take. You are having on an average 12 hours on the middle day. On the day when you come back from SFM, you're having 3 hours, 3 plus 12, 15. And still you are having on the day of exam 3 more hours. Total you are having minimum productive hours of 18. Minimum 18 hours of time you're having. And you'll have one day full day right in between exams. Afternoon, try to sleep for 1 hour. Whether you slept 8 hours, 9 hours, doesn't matter. Try to have a sleep for 1 hour. 1 hour. That will boost your, energy more. Like the afternoon session when you're reading within that 12-hour slot, you will be more productive as well. So that's it. I just wanted to share about CA final thing, and I hope you are convinced with this strategy and try to follow this. If possible, once again watch this once you come back from SFM examination. That's it. Have a nice time. All the best. And thank you for patiently watching. Bye bye.